Part of finding the people you want as customers is being everywhere that they are. Are you everywhere that your customer is? Hi, I'm Brian J. Pombo. Welcome to Brian J. Pombo Live, and we're here in the Orange office in Grants Pass, Oregon. Love to welcome you back. Don't forget about dreambizchat.com. Dreambizchat.com. There's a quick little video over there, especially if you are an owner or a business owner or an executive in the self-reliance field. Go and check out dreambizchat.com. Don't have a lot of time today, so I want to rush through this. I want to give you a quick crash course on how to be everywhere. I'm going to give you a little bit of history. Back in 2007, I was brand new on the scene when it came to internet marketing and so forth. And I came across a guy named Howie Schwartz. Now, perhaps you've heard of him if you've been around long enough. He was an internet marketing guru, and he basically taught how to set up websites and how to set up large groupings of websites in order to completely dominate certain niches and industries. And he did this on a lot of different levels, started with affiliate marketing and went beyond that. But one of the things that he talked about was a concept called conversation domination. And conversation domination is a term that if you've heard about it recently, you heard about it from probably Russell Brunson. He kind of brought it back up. And he mentioned Howie Schwartz because he was paying attention to the same things back in those days. And it was a huge concept because the idea is could you actually dominate the conversation that's going on all around the industry that you're trying to take over, all around the customers that you're trying to get in front of? Can you be in front of them on every level? And there was a way back then, and it hasn't changed that much to the way it is now. There's only more players involved, and there's more ways of doing it. But we're going to go through some search engine optimization, some real basic stuff if you've never come across this before, and some ways that you can use it. Anybody can take this and use it. So the best way for me to be able to wrap your mind around this is to use your name. If someone typed your name, just as it is, first name, last name, however you spell it, type it into Google with nothing else, what pops up? Are they going to find you? Are they just going to find a whole bunch of other people with your same name? Are they going to find, would they be able to type in something else? Perhaps the industry that you're involved in, perhaps the name of your company, perhaps what you're known for. If they type that in, would they be able to find you? So let's use myself as an example. If you go into Google and you type in Brian Pombo, or Brian J. Pombo, or Brian J. period Pombo, you'll get a bunch of different types of results, but I guarantee you'll be able to find me. You'll be able to find me on most of that front page. If I just went just a few minutes ago, this is always going to be different. It's going to be different based on where you're at, on where you're typing it in, on the time of day, everything. Google is constantly churning and changing. But you're going to see similarities if you're anywhere near the time period that we videotaped this, okay, or that if you're watching live. So typed in Brian J. Pombo with a period right after the J. Brian J. Pombo. The first thing that pops up is my homepage because I own brianjpombo.com. Now, you could type in Brian Pombo. You may get a couple other Brian Pombos that are out there, which is why I started focusing more with my middle initial, Brian J. Pombo. Bought brianjpombo.com, started populating it. This video, along with the audio, is going to pop up on there. It's going to disseminate across all different fields, and I'll show you how that happens in a second. The next thing you're going to see on there is Twitter. The next thing, which is mine, my LinkedIn, my YouTube page. There's a website called Alignable that anyone can get involved with. It's a networking type website, Alignable. You'll see my profile from there. You're going to see offthegridbiz.com, which is the podcast that I started and own. You'll see my background there. You'll see the next thing is listennotes.com, which is a podcast directory, which Indeed, it actually sends out Brian J. Pombo Live, which is what you're watching right now. So this will show up in those on that directory. And on the second page of Google, you'll see a whole bunch of podcast directories also linked to Brian J. Pombo Live, which is what you're watching. See, all these things all populate themselves. Every day I send out a new video. That new video goes to goes to most of these sites, goes to Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I have someone that both manually does it, and we have some automatic functions that do it. And also the audio goes to Brian J. Pombo Live. Perhaps you're listening to this through the podcast. You're listening to it via the podcast. If you go and look for this video, go to brianjpombo.com, go and look in the videos and find the actual video for this, and I will show you some details as I draw them out on the board. The last thing on there is myopportunity.com. Another thing, these are all things that you can go and do yourself. Go and buy your domain name. If someone doesn't already have it, if you could buy something similar, use your name, maybe what you're known for or what you want to be known for. For example, one of my clients is, I don't want to use his name, let's call him Richard. Richard has a very common name. There are many famous people with both his first name and his last name. So what we did is we went and we couldn't even grab his domain name. But .me was available. So Richard blank .me, it's not his name, but his full name, .me, we went and grabbed that. We set up a website for him, began populating it, began setting up all the other things on the back end for proper SEO to get it ranked. Started linking all his social media together. And I'll show you how that works. There's a couple concepts here. First one's from Alex Mandossian. You can go and look this guy up. He's the first one I heard that talked about using social media in this particular way, and that is having a main page. So mine's brianjpombo.com. Having a main page, and instead of having different things on every single social media or using some or not using the others, what he does is he has the same thing populated throughout social media. So he's got LinkedIn, and I don't know if he particularly has this, but this is how I work. So I've got LinkedIn, I've got Facebook, I've got Twitter. All of them are directing back to brianjpombo.com. That's the main hub. I don't have them directing to each other. There's no reason to do that. My main focus is to get them back here and doing what's necessary so that we can have an engagement of some sort, whether they become customers or not, or whether they just get plugged in. The whole idea is to direct everybody back here. I have podcasts. So it's not just social media, it's beyond that. But got podcasts, we've got YouTube and other video sites, all of them pointing back to brianjpombo.com. Now with podcasts, it's an interesting thing, because with podcasting, not only do you have your main podcast site, so mine is brianjpombo.com. There's an RSS feed that goes out, and that goes to iTunes, which now is called Apple Podcasts, but still commonly referred to as iTunes, and a number of other directories. So there's all these other directories. Once you set up your RSS on there, so this is brianjpombo.com, it goes and it populates all these places automatically. Or at least it's meant to. Earlier today I found out we were having some issues with it, so we got to go in and fix the technical end of things. But normally that's what happens. It goes, populates all those sites. All of those sites have the ability to rank on their own within Google. So if you're just talking SEO, which is search engine optimization, if you're talking about SEO, this is a great way to be able to get great SEO, especially if you put the right wording in with everything that you got going. So we could go on for days and days about how conversation domination works, but it's all about being everywhere that your customer is. So you got to know who your ideal customer is. You got to know the type of things that they're typing in so that you could be right there in front of them. And this is something that I'm constantly getting better and better at for myself, but I also do it for my clients. Go to dreambizchat.com if you'd like to find out more, and we will see you tomorrow.